Good evening. This is Sydney's on the Clock. I am Chris Williams.
And I am the sports journalist, also known as none other than Sydney Kuye.
Sid, so Asia Wilson.
Chris, you just jumping straight into it. We got to let the audience know what we're doing today.
You're right, Sid, you're right. So firstly, we're going to talk about the Asia Wilson situation, Caitlin Clark, and also can NBA players actually go into the NFL?
We have so many more topics here today on Sydney's on the Clock, but I'm going to let Chris start us off because he was very anxious to do so, as y'all can see.
So, Sid, Asia Wilson is getting her own signature shoe with Nike during spring 25. Mm-hmm. It's going to be called A1. And basically, you know, there's been other athletes such as Sabrina Ionescu from Oregon.
Right.
Naomi Osaka for tennis.
Right.
And many others. So, with this, Sid, do you think this is an evolution, not just for sponsorships, but promotions for women's sports?
So I'm going to answer your question, but I'm also going to backtrack it first for me to get to that answer, right? The very first woman athlete to ever receive a shoe, do you know her name was? Cheryl Swoops. This was during the 1996 Atlanta Olympics. She had the Nike Air Swoop 1s. She was the first woman athlete of all, like completely, to ever receive a shoe. And, you know, they sold well, of course. This is during a time whenever women's sports, they were at least how would I say this? The mainstream coverage of it wasn't as much. But, you know, it's something that we knew of, right? Mm. However, we've gone on to have, like you said, some of like biggest names in women's sports have shoes. But when it comes to Asia Wilson and Nike, I feel like Nike played in her face. Mm. And they did that for a long time. Because think about it. It's 2024 moving into 2025.
She's been playing for like 7
She's just
years.
now getting a shoe, mainly because of all the hype and all the stuff that's been going around with women's basketball. However, Asia Wilson is not no regular player. She is one of the best players to come through the WNBA and one of the best collegiate players too, not to mention. She helped the Gamecocks get their very first national championship in 2017. On top of that, she was one of many National Players of the Year, SEC Player of the Year. She did that 3 times. And then during a conference which they ended up winning the championship, she was the best player at the entire tournament. Not to mention, she's won 2 back-to-back WNBA titles with the Las Vegas Aces. Yeah. So this is not somebody regular. This is somebody who should have had a shoe contract. But honestly and truly, if it wasn't for social media and all the outrage that a lot of people did online, she wouldn't be getting this contract because Asia Wilson has been signed to Nike since 2018. Since she came into the league, she has been signed to Nike since 2018. There's no reason why 6 years later, she's just now getting a shoe.
Would you say because of this, it's the Caitlin Clark effect, meaning how LeBron does it? Like every single time that LeBron says something, it happens. A coach gets fired or a player comes.
I don't like calling it the Caitlin Clark effect because I also think if you're going to call it the Caitlin Clark effect, you also need to put some respect on Angel Reese's name because Caitlin Clark wouldn't be Caitlin Clark in terms of mainstream if it wasn't for Angel Reese. But I do think that her and all the other rookies like Cameron Brink and can I just say Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, who else was? Cameron Brink.
It was
Camilla.
Yeah,
everybody
Camilla
coming
Cardoso,
into, you know, and then you even have Sharika too.
Yeah.
All these players coming in. I think yes, that helped, and is it changing women's sports? Yes, but this should have been happened. Literally, Nike gave her that shoe as like a here. Oh my gosh, here you go. Like we're tired of hearing you complain, and she should have been complaining. It's been 6 years you've been one of the top athletes in your sport and you've been signed to a company who doesn't support you. Why do you think, for instance, as much as I love Nike and I wear Nike, for instance, Angel Reese didn't sign with Nike. She signed with Reebok. Yeah. And that was probably one of the smartest things she can do for her career because think about it too. We have to call a spade a spade. Race is going to be an issue with this. Caitlin Clark is a rookie. Also, she's white. She's in the same situation that Larry Bird was in 45 years ago when he was dominating the league. Yeah. A lot of their talent is getting drawn off for the fact that it's a black versus white. And we see a player who's literally established as a vet, a black woman who is just now getting her flowers. That makes absolutely no sense.
I mean, at the same time, it should happen, though.
But look, we will be right back on Sydney's on the Clock after commercials break.
Ayo, owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
At the Team Automotive Group, we're turning Teacher Appreciation Week into a month-long celebration. Bring your teacher ID to any of our dealerships and save an additional $500 off of any new car purchase. It's our way of saying thanks for all you do in the classroom at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
So, Sid, going back to the Aja Wilson signature shoe situation, I just want to talk about how her impact for it. So basically, during the press conference the other day, she talked about having an impact for little girls. Every little girl that laces up her shoe, she was saying that she can do anything, or anything they can do, whether it's basketball or make an impact in any endeavor that they want to do. So do you feel as though that because of her stardom that other girls will copy it, basically?
Well, going back to my original statement, what I said in the last segment, she didn't start the signature shoe. Cheryl Swoops did. And she did that with Nike, like I said, back in 1996, which was almost more than 40 years ago. So I think it's not one of those things to where people are going to copy, because I feel like we see that with every athlete. Think about the males, for instance, with the NBA. All big name players that came through the NBA have some shoe. We have Stephen Curry, Kyrie Irving, KDs. To this day, do you know how revolutionary KDs were in my middle school years? Everybody named mama had a pair of KDs.
I had some KDs
So
too.
I don't think it's one of those things to where she'll be setting a precedent, because the precedent was already there. That's what I'm saying. We need to put some respect on Cheryl Swoop's name. The precedent was started with her with the women's. I think, however, it's been a minute since we've had such a prominent athlete besides Sabrina Ionescu have a shoe. So when you're looking at players like Aja Wilson, especially whenever you see a lot now, a lot of the big rookies, for instance, like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, they have these contracts with shoe companies. We're going to be seeing a lot more shoe deals coming in the next coming years as women's basketball, and not just basketball, but as women's sports starts to expand. And
then also with social media as well, with TikTok and other brands like that.
Oh, of course. Literally, if you are an athlete, look, I'm going to speak to the camera right here. If you are an athlete in college, high school, even middle school, because they have people who start getting recruited in middle school, if you don't take advantage of the fact that you live in a day and age of social media, you're messing up some serious money. serious money, because now I believe in 22 states you can start getting NIL deals even while in high school. So you could literally sit there and market yourself. I've seen some players who are not even that good get some gigantic contract strictly because of who they are and what their name is, because of name, image, and likeness.
And
simple.
You can see the guy from Norfolk State. He had about 90 NIL deals.
That's what I'm saying. You're in a day and age where money's at your fingertips, and if you're not utilizing that, you're lazy. That's just literally, call a spade. Because I can guarantee you, if I was a collegiate athlete, you'll see my name and face posted everywhere. Even if I'm terrible, even if I play basketball and only got 1 rebound, you're gonna see my name and face, because I'm gonna know what I need to do to make sure that I have money coming out of college, regardless of where I go.
Kind of like with Stephen A. making 1.9 points per game, but now as a TV sports personality, he's making $12 million.
My point exactly. As a TV sports personality, you see the difference.
So Caitlin Clark is going to play her first pro game versus Connecticut Sun. Sid, how excited are you about that?
I'm excited because I think she's one of those people who their talent, it won't be like a Pete Maravich in a sense, to where only reason I said him is because he was a scoring leader coming out of LSU, and he's one of the biggest college basketball players who didn't have a good transition to the league. I think on her case, on the other end, she will have a good transition, especially that we've seen a couple preseason. But I feel like she hasn't necessarily tapped into that. But then again, it's just the beginning. Like, we still have an entire season long of WNBA. I think that she's going to be an athlete to continue watching for. Honestly, a lot of the rookies have been doing absolutely amazing, especially for them to make a roster. Literally, for last time I checked up, 12 out of the 34 rookies that got drafted have made NBA or WNBA rosters. And that's amazing, because normally you don't even see that much, especially when you think about the fact that the 2017 draft leader, was it 2017, 2018? It was one of the past years. She doesn't even play in the league anymore, because you see how cutthroat the WNBA really is.
And there's some haters as well.
Oh, of course. Actually, we're going to have to reserve this for the segment coming back, because do I have something to say about you Twitter warriors against Angel Reese? I'm an Angel Reese person, so I'm going to stand for my girl, because the fact that they thought that she wasn't even going to get on a roster is insane. But look, I digress. We'll be right back after commercial break.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Embrace the luxury, safety, and comfort of Mazda with 0% financing at Team Mazda. Right now, get 0% financing on any new Mazda CX-5, Mazda CX-30, Mazda CX-50, or Mazda CX-90. The savings are here at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
At the Team Automotive Group, we're turning Teacher Appreciation Week into a month-long celebration. Bring your teacher ID to any of our dealerships and save an additional $500 off of any new car purchase. It's our way of saying thanks for all you do in the classroom at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
We are back with Sydney's on the clock.
And we
Sid.
are.
So basically, with the Caitlin Clark debut for a regular season game, there are also, for examples for this, you think the ratings are going to last. So for Brittany Griner, there was high ratings in 2013. 1996 was Cheryl Swoops, 14.3 million for the national championship. So you think the ratings are going to last even after this game?
I think when it comes to the W, you need to have your abnormal players for them to continue ratings. For instance, 1996, Dawn Staley, Cheryl Swoops, Laura Aziz.
Yep. Lisa Leslie.
You can continue. Some like generational names. Like to this day, for instance, my little brother who plays basketball knows who those women were. 2013, Brittany Griner. Even though she didn't have or she hasn't had the greatest WNBA career, you can't think about basketball without Brittany Griner's name being somewhere thrown into the conversation. Now, 2024, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink. I think you need to have a set group of women who they not just, when it comes to their athletic ability, it's not just about basketball. They need to transcend the sport. That's what we see today. A lot of these people that I've named, they're not just regular athletes.
They're brands.
They're brands. These are people, when you walk, literally, if they were to sit here and walk across this studio or sit here and walk up and down College Drive, the whole world stops. We need more athletes like that. We need more athletes who understand that you and yourself, you are a business. Which goes, like, that just goes back to everything I've probably preached sitting here on this podcast. This is a business. You are a business. You're no longer an entity. And as crazy as it sounds, your life isn't yours anymore. Your life is now being viewed by millions and hundreds of millions of people. And that's what comes to the territory when you put yourself in these places.
So how do we keep it going? How can me as a male, how can I promote it? Do I have to promote it on my podcast, or just how can
I think you as a male, and I don't even make this generalization because obviously I am a woman and I can't necessarily speak from the male's perspective. However, I can say a lot of the problem starts with y'all. A lot of the time, men, I'm not going to say, again, generalization, don't fight me, but a lot of the time y'all are so one-track minded in your own worlds, especially when it comes to sports, that a lot of them don't actively go out their comfort zones and see that sometimes women are balling harder than men. They don't want to see it. It's because they're used to, let's say, for instance, the Nuggets and the Timberwolves series was going on, or what's going on with the NBA. I can guarantee you women's college basketball was way more exciting than anything that the NBA or anything that the college, at least especially on the college level, what they had going on the men's side. So once you get out that superiority complex that like a lot of men like to have, again, don't fight me, but you can see the type of athletes that it doesn't even matter about the race or gender. You can respect an athlete for who they are and what they bring to the table, and I think that's what a lot of men need to start doing.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I agree on a little bit, Sid, what you said, but I think it's in popularity, it's in ratings. So, for example, before
okay, keep going.
They were talking about lowering the goal, right? Seeing women dunk. Who doesn't want to see that? I know I do, but at the same time, my perspective has changed a little bit. Watching the NCAA tournament, it was exciting. But at the same time, us men, we have to watch it. We have to want to be engaged.
Yeah, I look, to an extent, I can understand that, because literally a lot of the only reason that college basketball was put on the pedestal is because of the rivalry y'all literally had Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark that y'all created. And that's messy. As men, that's messy.
I mean, sometimes it's good. It's good to see mess, though. It's good.
So you're telling me if it wasn't for women's mess, you wouldn't watch a women's sports? Ooh. What does that say about you as a person?
No. That doesn't put me down as a person, but at the same time, who doesn't like look at reality TV shows. People like watching that.
So now are you sitting here comparing professional women's sports to reality TV show? Oh, Chris, just stop talking.
It's a little bit like that.
We'll be back after this last segment of Sydney's on the Clock.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements, and that's where Licerio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Licerio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Licerio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Embrace the luxury, safety, and comfort of Mazda with 0% financing at Team Mazda. Right now, get 0% financing on any new Mazda CX-5, Mazda CX-30, Mazda CX-50, or Mazda CX-90. The savings are here at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
We are back with Sydney's on the clock. Sid, can NBA players adapt to the NFL?
You're talking about that discourse that had between
Austin Rivers.
Yeah. About how they were saying how they can't play each other's sports. I know what you're talking about. So I feel like the two aren't comparable. However, I don't think that a basketball player can automatically jump into football versus a football player could potentially jump into basketball.
I disagree with that. I'm going to give you some players, right? There's going to be college basketball and pro basketball. Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham was a tight end and power forward at University of Miami. Julius Peppers, North Carolina, power forward and defensive tackle for North Carolina. Tony Gonzalez, he played power forward at Cal, and now he's a Hall of Famer. Antonio Gates played at Kent State. He played at Kent State power forward and was a Hall of Famer as well. LeBron James played at St. Vincent St. Mary's, wide receiver his sophomore year. And also Allen Iverson was a 4-star quarterback in Virginia who also played basketball and football.
Well, here's my thing. You can continue to list names, but it still doesn't change my opinion. I don't think that the two are comparable when you think about it. That's like saying a track athlete can be a football player, which essentially a lot of them are, but at the same time, that's not realistic when you think about the fact that their bodies, think about it. When you look at a build of a basketball player and you look of a build of a football player, these are two completely different body mass indexes and makeups. A lot of the time as a basketball player, you're doing a lot of running, you're doing a lot of jumping, you're doing a lot of elongating, which is why a lot of them are taller, they're long, versus football, very short, very short, but it's very high intensity workouts. Why do you think a lot of them, they're not short, but they stubby, they got muscle. A lot of them are really built. So in a sense, think about it. When you think about it initially, when Zion Wilson came on the scene, Everybody was saying how he should be a linebacker somewhere because of the way he was built. Yeah. But then again, you saw the way he was able to ball. But now think about it. You see the way Stephen A. Smith and all the big time commenters are saying about his weight and how it needs to change. Versus if he was to have the same for football, that would be praised. It wouldn't be. Yeah. It wouldn't be disagreed upon. So do you see what I'm saying?
I do partially see it, but at the same time, you can both be versatile too, right? Look at LeBron. LeBron is 6'9", 250, 260. He could be on the line, or he can be a tight end.
I'm sorry. Could you imagine being tackled by LeBron James?
I don't know, but I mean, hey, it's the flexibility that he has. No man that size can move that well at 6'9", 6'10". Why not try it? Even in the 2011 lockdown, he was playing flag football versus KD.
So you want to put a lot of the biggest stars on the football field and let it happen?
I'm not saying that's it. It's certain players. It's not like putting a 7'4" Victor Wembanyama on the scene. You're not going to do that
because he's going to break.
Yeah, of course. So
I love him.
So
but he's also skinny and 7'4".
So it's those certain type of players that are versatile that can do both. That's how they can adapt to the NFL. It's only a select few. That's what's going to happen.
So you're saying a small percentage, therefore a rarity, therefore almost impossible.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it can happen.
It can happen?
It can happen, Sid. Nate Robinson did it. Nate Robinson was a cornerback and wide receiver at Washington, and he played basketball.
I feel like if we were in a talk about two different sports, for instance, like baseball and football, we've seen a lot of that.
Of course.
A bunch of that. And I mean major leagues at that too. So that I could see. But basketball, I don't know about all that. Look, that might have to be a conversation we table for the next episode.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Well, Chris, I actually enjoyed this talk.
I
feel like it's been a minute since I've actually seen your personality come out on TV, and I'm seeing it. He's a lot more lax. He's having fun. Like, look at Chris, y'all. Well, this has been Sydney Couye
and Chris Williams
with another great episode of Sydney's on the Clock. We'll see y'all later. Bye, guys.
Peace.